My sisters and brothers, I greet you all with the love and peace of the Lord. I invite you to meditate together with me on the holy word of God of 25th September 2022, the 26th ordinary Sunday. The thrust sensitive to sense. The indicative of our reflection, not only doing the wrong is wrong, but also not doing the right when possible and needed is also a big wrong, which is often called the sin of omission in contrast to the sin of commission. The parable of the rich man and poor Lazarus in the gospel is a typical indicator of the situation of today's society. There is a steep social and economic inequality, a sharp contrast between the rich and the poor, and the clearest dividing line between the haves and have-nots. There are those who get fattened with affluence and surplus, and those who are forced to starve. There are those who feast every day, affording to let plenty of scraps fall from their tables, and those who wait desperately to collect and swallow those fallen scraps. There are those who dress in purple in extravagance, and those who cover themselves with rags and sores. There are those who enjoy the company of the high-class people, and those who keep company with the dogs. Such an abominable and unjustifiable injustice is the offshoot of indifference and negligence. This is again due to a lack of fraternal responsibility. This in turn is caused by a lack of sensitivity. Finally, all this is rooted in heightened individualism. This is the greatest malaise and sickness of our human life, wherein others do not count at all. There is neither respect nor concern for others' difficulties. There is no basic human feeling toward others. Sadly, there is not even a little prick of conscience. Human sensitivity has become so blunt that no tear or pain of others would touch and move many. Just to reflect on what height of indifference and insensitivity many have mounted on. While many go about in rags and ornaments, they can dress in purple and lavish waste. While many struggle for a potful of potable water, they can goose themselves in the hallucination of liquor bottles. While many crawl into huts and slums, they can stroll leisurely in spacious, multi-floored buildings. While for many, 3 meals a day is a luxury, they can throw huge amounts on wasteful parties. While many sweat their blood to get a good education and find a moderate job, these can pour money like water to buy elite education and sweatless jobs. Is this not a blatant contradiction and heartless injustice? The point here is not implicit jealousy against the rich. It is not an intolerant resentment against all those who have better comfort than others. In fact, the fault of the rich man in the gospel is nothing direct. Directly, he did no harm or injustice to the poor Lazarus. But his greatest fault was his total insensitivity and lack of fraternal responsibility toward the other. He had no attention at all on the poor man because his attention was fully on his own comfort and satisfaction. He would have done better if he were to share a little of his material prosperity with the less fortunate and alleviate their misery. The story also drives home very forcefully the truth that those who fail in charity and generosity toward others will receive a fateful destiny, while those who suffer in good faith here on earth will obtain plenitude and eternal joy. They are really foolish who are caught up with passing pleasures and enjoyments and lose sight of the heavenly glory and eternal joy. They are destined to eternal misery, those who neglect their fundamental fraternal responsibility for the well-being of others, even being capable to reduce their plight. One may close conveniently one's eyes, ears, and heart to the struggle of others, but cannot close God's eyes to see our injustice. Now, the imperative for our life, the value and joy of life is not in self-service and self-benefit, but in being benevolent and beneficial to others.